Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Hello Yam. We've got Yam in the Yambulance just before we get to go to the Scottish Rowing Centre to do our 5-kilometre rowing machine test today for British rowing trials. So this year obviously trials have been very different to previous years where we would go to different locations around the UK and race fellow British rowing athletes, but this year with everything going on, most of it is based on erg scores. So today we're going to get the 5k done, submit that score, see how I do compared to the rest of sort of the trialists, and then see where we go from there, because we don't really know what's going to happen throughout the year. All we can do is focus on the present, and today is 5k day. Last 5k I did in December, it was the fastest I did since my PB in 2016, so it was a 15:52 in December. My PB is a 15:40, that was 4 or 5 years ago now. And today I want to go faster than December, so that could be 15:51, it could be 15:50, it could be even faster, but we'll see. We've been having a really good training block over the past 6-8 weeks, and really lucky to be able to train with permission from the government here in Scotland. So without further ado, we're going to head to the Scottish Rowing Centre. Isn't that right, Yam? And then we're going to get on the erg and do a 5k. Wish me luck, Yam Squad. And we have made it outside of the Scottish Rowing Centre post 5 kilometres on the rowing machine, and it was an interesting one. As you probably saw, I ended up with a 16:01, which actually is slower than the senior men's cut-off, so not ideal. 10 seconds slower than the December 5k that I did in December. And it's an interesting one because you would think 10 seconds slower, that's not good. Yes, it is slower, so it's a kind of thing, well, why do we think that is slower? But the piece itself, I felt like I finished it and I was like, yeah, it was slower, but I felt like it was really good training almost. I sat in maybe, so you saw most of the splits, probably, hopefully, depending on how I've edited it. But I basically sat flat, roughly the same pace as I did for the previous 5K for the first 3K. And I felt better than I did in the previous 5K. So I was thinking, middle of the 5K that I'm going to be stepping on at the end, like I did in the previous one, but that didn't arrive. It felt much harder in the last 2K, and I could have easily just not stopped, but backed off and just let it be a bit easier through the end of the 5K. As you, I think, hopefully you've saw the end of that, my heart rate was approaching my max, 198 I hit, which is, to me, a little bit of a signal of my fitness and my ability to sit in that pain cave and go deeper into that pain cave is better. And that's backed up with sort of the training we've been doing over the past, since the last 5K, 2 months or so, that I'm feeling fitter. But the fact that I wasn't able to step on as much as I did in the previous 5K kind of points to a lack of power per stroke, a lack of YAM in the latter stages. So it's almost combining what I have now, the fitness aspect, with the power aspect. So going forward, depending on what goes on with the 5Ks, and like I said at the start of the video, this is for 5K submissions for GB trials, so I did not hit the cutoff, but I did hit the cutoff previously, so it's kind of like, well, will they take the previous 5K or this one? So I might have to do it again. But going forward, we've got a 2K coming up for race season, or at least the beginning of race season. So we're looking at 2K prep, which is where the power aspect should tie in quite nicely with the fitness aspect that I've been working on so far. So it has been an interesting one. Disappointed, yes, that I didn't quite get as fast as I would have hoped. I was looking at least getting faster than the previous 5K. Ended up 10 seconds slower, but it is taking that little bit of a step back and thinking, one, why was it slower? Two, what were the positives from the 5K or the piece that I did today? Were there any positives? What were the negatives from it? Assessing from there and then looking forward into the future. So taking the present and a little bit of the past and looking forward to the future. And I think that is a case of looking at more power, more YAM. And it's definitely there, the high-end stuff like you saw at the end of the 5K there, hitting 117. So I do have power per stroke, but it's more a case of using the power per stroke not necessarily at the top end, but more in sort of that 90% end, if that makes sense at all. And that will be it for today's episode, Yam Squad. Hopefully you enjoyed the 5K coming along with me in the journey. Did the live stream, not sure how it worked. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing that as well. So the 5K probably was just parts of the 5K rather than putting the whole 16 minutes or so in. And I will see you in the next episode, which I'm not sure what it'll be. Oh yeah!